Hello and welcome back to the Footballing Question YouTube channel, and today I've got a strange one as the window is open but the season is over. So now we are in what some people will call silly season. You know, it is just constant rumours, who knows what's going on, money is being chucked left, right and centre, and until deals are announced we don't really know completely what's going on. And this week it seems like something might be happening which I might not be entirely pleased with as an Arsenal fan, as it seems like Arsenal are going in for Kai Havertz of Chelsea. Yeah, I'm not entirely pleased about this. I don't exactly know entirely how he fits into our current system. Sidetracking away from that, we're currently moving for Declan Rice. That's been going on for months. I'm very convinced Declan Rice signs for us. If he doesn't sign for us, I will eat my own sock on this channel. You heard it here first. If Declan Rice doesn't sign for Arsenal, I will eat my sock on this channel. But with Kai Havertz, it's just gone out of nowhere, because, you know, as a fan, you go into every window kind of having an idea of what your club needs. And I went into this window going, we need two midfielders, we need Rice and someone else who's maybe either more attacking or more defensive, depending on where we want Rice to play. And we probably need another fullback or maybe another centre-back, depending on what we see Tomiyasu as next season or Ben White as, because we need a little bit more depth in defence. And that would be lovely. Maybe someone to replace Holding who's a little bit more, you know, better. You know, I've heard us be linked with Mark Gay here. I think that would be an interesting move. And, you know, the likes of Fresnado and João Cancelo we've been linked to. I don't really want Cancelo because of his disciplinary history. But yeah, that kind of a thing. And maybe, just maybe, another winger, you know, because Saka's not got too much behind him. But then again, we are signing on Nelson by the looks of things. So that's one thing. But yeah, I did not have Kai Havertz as a kind of player identity, or like his, like, cause the issue with Kai Havertz is no one can really put down an exact position he's suited to. You know, Chelsea have mainly used him as an out-and-out striker, or maybe sometimes as a false nine throughout the majority of his time at Chelsea. And do I think that's his best position? From watching him at Chelsea, absolutely not, or at least not in the same play style they use him as. I see he's someone who clearly wants to be on the ball, and he's not someone who wants to be, you know, running, you know, for long balls or something like that. He's a very tall player, but he's not that strong. He gets pushed around a little bit, but he's also got a very big burst of pace, which I don't think many people talk about. And I think if you look at him at Leverkusen, he was a very hot prospect. A lot of people wanted him. Chelsea got him. I was jealous at the time. And if we look at it from that perspective, let's say Arsenal were signing him 3 years ago, I'd be over the moon. But right now, there's so many questions around him as a player and how he fits in, that as an Arsenal fan, I'm confused as to what he does in this team. Because we play a different system, Chelsea, there is a world where I can see him maybe being a number 9, and maybe we rotate a lot more of Jesus because we're in the Champions League now, and we have a fluid front three anyway, so it would suit him a lot more because he wouldn't be an out-and-out 9. But at the same time, because of his history in midfield with Leverkusen, we'd maybe be giving him a position where, you know what, you can drop back and he can be the replacement for Xhaka potentially in that kind of attacking role, and maybe, just maybe, Arteta can get some defensive output out of him. That'd be a miracle. But yeah, it's one of those two positions. He's not coming in as a winger, let's be honest. But yeah, that's one that I'm just very miffed about with Kai Havertz. Now, I mentioned his time at Leverkusen, and I'm going to go into his stats for his final season right now. So looking at his stats in the 19-20 season, his final season at Bayer Leverkusen before joining Chelsea for, I think, roughly around, it was either between, I've seen people say it was 62 mil, I swear it was around 70 million, at least that's what I remember. But in his final season, he got in all competitions, so this includes Europa League, Champions League, because they did get knocked out of the Champions League, I think, into the Europa League, obviously, the Bundesliga and the DFB Pokal. He got a total of 18 goals, 9 assists in 45 games. Now, if you divide that all up, that is 0.6 goal involvements per match. So, pretty much once every 2 games, he has done something he has, created or scored a goal. That is very decent for a player of his age at that point in time. And then he gets the move to Chelsea, and he's yet to actually hit 20 goals for them in the Premier League. He's got 19 currently in the 3 seasons he's played for them, which is poor, realistically. He's scoring at that rate. He scored 12 in 30, and that's not a full Bundesliga season. And yeah, not exactly the same hit rate. And if you look at the stats of the season just gone with him at Chelsea, where they finished 12th, and yeah, overall pretty much as poor as it can get for Chelsea. He got 9 goals and 1 assist in 47 games. So that's less goals, less assists, and more games, overall totaling in an average goal contribution of 0.21 per game. Pretty much a third of the output of his final season at Bayer Leverkusen, the season which won him the move to Chelsea in the first place. So yeah, massive drop off. And what can we give credit to that? Is it the fact that he's playing in a different league? A lot of people may use the word Bundesliga tax. Is that something? But the thing is, players get moves from foreign leagues because of, they've shown some degree of talent just because they're performing in that league. And I wouldn't say he's just a stat padder. There was clear signs of him being a good passer, a decent dribbler, a very, very energetic, fast player, which, is something which you can't teach. It's something which some players just have. And he clearly had that talent. And I think at least 50% of the blame should be given to Chelsea, the system, and maybe them misusing him, and just the club doing poorly since he's come in. Obviously, besides the Champions League win, besides that, but I think they've been run a little bit poorly in the time he's been there. Besides the Champions League win, but this season in particular, he's just not a number 9. Kai Havertz is not a striker. Yes, he plays there to some degree for Germany, but I think he's used slightly differently. With Chelsea at times, it's just felt like he's being put in a system in place of Aubameyang when Aubameyang would actually do a better job. He doesn't want to play as a pivot. I thought he just should be a lot deeper, and maybe Arteta can do that. And if we've got to give Mikel Arteta credit, he has had some success in bringing players in like Martin Odegaard, like Jorginho, players who people weren't exactly sure of when Arsenal signed them. Martin Odegaard didn't do that great in the loan spell. I think a lot of people forget that. And then when we signed him on a permanent in his first full season last year, he got a few goals, a few assists, but statistically it didn't look like that great a season. And then this year he's completely blitzed it and got the most non-penalty goals of any midfielder in Premier League history in a season, and got a few assists alongside that as well. And he's Arsenal's joint top goal scorer, which is mental. Then you look at Jorginho, and yes, he was brought in to probably help get Arsenal across the line with the title race. That didn't happen, but still, in the time he's been at the club, I've been very impressed with him. He's absolutely crushed my agenda against him. I actually quite like him as a footballer now and respect him a lot more than I did. Maybe Arteta can do the same with me, and my opinion on Kai Havertz, who is a player who's thoroughly not impressed me at all in his time in the Premier League. I've constantly felt he's just not good enough, but I'm ready to be proven wrong. I am ready to be proven wrong. I think if I'm going to just predict where I think he's going to play, Joel, I can't even do that. I cannot do that. But let's just say there is a world where he plays in Arsenal's midfield. Let's just get ready for it. Let's just see what Arteta can do, because I think he's earned enough credit with the Arsenal fans with his talent ID and bringing players in. Most of it has been pretty good. And if Arsenal are willing to spend 60 million, as reported today, on him, then go for it. We've already had one bid rejected for 55 million, so we're only going up by 5 million. But there is just that gut feeling in it going, oh god, this just doesn't feel great. But you just have to trust your manager in these situations, and Mikel Arteta has earned that over time, and I've just got to pray that he's right. Other things that have happened this week, such as the change from Caicedo to Lavia, there's been a shift of focus, and I think Romeo Lavia would be a great talent. However, the fact that he's a young player and will have to maybe improve just slightly is a bit worrying when you're trying to challenge for the title. Those aren't the side players you should be signing right now, especially when maybe that's a signing instead of Caicedo. But we can't exactly judge these signings at this point when they aren't even done. So, what do you think of Kai Havertz? If he goes to Arsenal, is he going to be a massive flop, or has Mikel Arteta done the impossible and turned his career around? Comment below what you think. Ding the bell for notifications. You'll be notified every single time we upload a video. Also, check out our socials. They'll be in the description down here. And yeah, like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. And yeah, this has been the Footballing Question. And Kai Havertz. Oh God.